Good morning. Again. I'll try not to shout. I need to today. Well, I hope you kind of noticed a theme without getting too far ahead of myself. Within the songs that we sang today, Miss Sheila talked about how many of you are fighting a battle. Well, we're going to talk about that a little bit today. Why do you fight that battle? And more importantly, to know your enemy.
Yes. Amen.
To know your enemy. Because he knows you.
Yes, he does. That's right.
Knows you well. Knows you well. And whether you're currently going through a struggle or a battle or a loss or whatever the enemy is trying to conjure up in your life, because please know that he is always trying to throw something against you. And if you feel that he's not, you might want to ask yourself why that is. Stay with me here. There is a battle going on right now that you can't see. You might feel it. There might be some stirring in your soul. But it's against your very life. It's against your very soul, your very existence. Now, doing this Bible study for myself, because I always do these for myself before I present them for you. So if you get nothing out of it, that's okay, because I have. I'll tell you about it later. But I studied warfare. It led me down this path of studying warfare, which sounds like a really dark subject, I know. But it's one that's ever present. From the existence of our being, battle and warfare have been present. And you see, when you know that you're walking into a battle, common sense says you don't just show up to the enemy's territory and hope that everything works out for the best, right?
Right.
It's logical to strategically know your enemy.
Yes.
Right?
Yes, it is. Amen.
I'm pretty sure in every major world war, even if something unexpected happened to our country or any other war that's occurred since the dawning of time, opponents were studying the other side.
That's right.
What are their strengths? What are their weaknesses? What is the lay of their land? And how can we capitalize on that? Well, the same is true about spiritual warfare. The enemy is studying your every move, your every weakness, your every stumbling block, and hoping that you aren't maybe paying as much attention to him.
Right.
Now, when we go back to talking about warfare, when you're trying to learn about your enemy's strengths and weaknesses, you obviously want to focus on those weaknesses first. Right?
Right.
Because if that's their weakness, then maybe it's one of your strengths. All right, we got that going for us, right?
Uh-huh.
So I took a look in the Bible and tried to figure out a biblical way of putting this into words. And unexpectedly, I thought I was going to read about some great, glorious battle and how they overtook someone's land. And no, God led me back to David and Goliath. Really, Lord? What does that have to do with warfare? It has everything to do with warfare. Because yes, we have this large giant. For those of you who are a little rusty on your Bible stories, you have this small young boy and this huge Philistine who they say historically stood about 9 feet tall. That's a large human being.
Yes.
I'm a big girl, that's a big man. Now, of course, David was a smart young man, and I'm sure his people had studied the Philistines. And God created them, so he knew their weaknesses, right? And although God is ultimately the one that caused David to win that battle, it was David's faith in God to do what God told him to do by the means God told him to use that defeated that giant. Well, here's something you may not know about Philistines, because I had to go back into some historical archives and figure out a little bit about these people. Well, apparently when you are that large in stature, and according to their dietary needs, what they ate, they had some physical weaknesses. And one of those being poor eyesight. They could not see far distances. You tracking with me? So when God sent David down to that stream to pick up a couple of smooth stones and said, take that sling that's in your back pocket and go face that giant in your way, I'm sure David knew that about his enemy. Didn't make him any less scared. But he trusted his father, and he trusted the knowledge he had of that enemy, and quite literally, that giant probably didn't even see what was coming.
That's true.
So what logically looked like pebbles and probably a piece of leather or material to us, which makes no sense to walk into a battle, by the way, God used to destroy something that was standing in his child's way. I kind of like that. Your enemy knows you. Whether you like that idea and that thought or not, he knows you. He knows what makes you tick. He knows your weaknesses. He knows what distracts you. Therefore, it is our responsibility to know who our enemy is, how he operates, what's he going to use against me, and most importantly, to understand the arsenal that we have to come against him. 1 Peter 5:8, if you'll transition to the next slide. I don't have my glasses on. I don't know if that is as blurry to you as it is to me, but I'll read it to you. 1 Peter 5:8 says, your adversary, the devil, walks around like a lion, seeking whom he may devour. Well, let's break this down for a second. The word adversary refers to a person, group, or personified force contending against another. Adversary suggests an enemy who fights determinedly, continuously, relentlessly. Funny how God uses the analogy of a lion. Has anyone ever watched Discovery Channel? You watch a lion on the prey? He's going for it. He's hungry. He doesn't run in all roar and screaming and scare everyone. No, he's quiet. He's stealthy. He creeps through the highest parts of the grass. Comes up right behind that quiet, innocent animal, whatever it may be at the time. And then he pounces, and that poor animal has no idea what just happened. It doesn't matter how much that animal fights back. The lion doesn't just run away. He pursues that animal harder until it comes under his mercy and loses its life, and now there's dinner. Your adversary, the devil, is walking around like a lion, seeking whom he can destroy. Well, if that doesn't scare you a little bit, I don't know what will. But here's the other part. You see, the enemy's going to stop at nothing to destroy you. He already tells us that. He's relentless. So when you get tired, he's not. He seeks to distract us to the point of self-destruction. Because you see, if we self-destruct, it makes his job easier, right? He's not working as hard, and there's probably less resistance if we can just do away with our own selves. And he's become pretty good at that. So the enemy's going to distract us to the point where we think our struggle is here, in the present, against each other, against our circumstances, against what's going on in our world, in our economy. But God tells us that the struggle is not against flesh and blood.
That's right.
He says in Ephesians 6:12, for our struggle is not against flesh and blood, but against the rulers, against the powers, against the world forces of this darkness, against the spiritual forces of wickedness in the heavenly places. Our struggle isn't against each other. Our struggle isn't even one that is present, that we focus on. That's part of that distraction. If I can make you think that you have a problem that you don't, my job is done here, because while you're busy trying to figure this out, I'm going to move over here and do what I really came to do. Sounds like a good dictator, right?
Yeah.
Keep everyone focused on this so that we can achieve this over here.
There you go. Come on.
So we know our enemy is an adversary. We know he's like a lion. He wants to destroy you. He wants to devour you. So what are his methods of operation? John 10:10. The thief. There's another nice word for him. He's a thief.
Yes.
Never nice words associated with the enemy here. The thief comes to steal and kill and destroy. But I, meaning the Lord, come that you may have life and have it to the full. He's a thief, and he comes to steal and to kill and destroy. The enemy right now is on a mission to steal your joy,
Yes.
to kill your faith, and to destroy your very life.
Yes.
And I don't know how many of you've watched the news recently, but I feel he's doing a pretty good job of it, here and abroad.
Amen.
Because you see, the enemy will use any method possible to accomplish this. He'll use your children against you. He'll use your spouse.
Right.
He'll use your family,
Yes.
your co-workers, your job, your church, your community.
Yeah.
That man or woman you thought was amazing and was going to be the one who changed your life, he will use whatever means necessary. He knows your weakness. He knows where your fault line is, and he's going to press into that as hard as he can
Yes.
until you find a way to make him go away.
Yeah.
I believe, and I've been having a lot of internal struggle lately, and not against circumstances or thing going on with my life, but spiritually, there is something stirring in my spirit that has my red flag and my alarms going, pay attention here.
Yeah.
You see, I think our biggest deception as a people right now is that we think we're more informed than we've ever been. We live in the information age, right? All I have to do is Google something and I am the master of that topic. I am well informed.
Yeah.
That's right.
And let me tell you, the information that's swirling around this world today that's not from Scripture is just that. It's of this world.
Right.
That's right. That's right.
The enemy is using brother against brother. He's using sister against sister, friend against friend, countrymen against countrymen. And I'm not trying to get political here, but I just look at what's going on right here in our own soil.
Right.
People are at each other's throats.
Yes.
Yeah.
We've all become so caught up on the issues. We have political issues. We have economy issues. We have world relation issues. We have poverty issues. We have race issues. We have inequality issues. No, we have a heart issue.
There you go.
Amen.
Think about this for a second. Our perspective, because that's what it's all about, right? We as humans, it's all about our perspective. Do you even know what your perspective is defined by? The condition of your heart. Think about that. That's worth repeating. Your perspective is determined by the condition of your heart. Where's your heart? And let me just say that if we can destroy ourselves, the enemy has done his job. And I feel like he's doing a pretty good job right now. We as a people, we as a church, forgive me because I'm going there, we become so laxed in our faith that we stand for little to nothing now. When we continue to be offended by every little thing, when the wind blows in a direction that we don't like, we step further away from our moral code. And the more the lines of that moral code become blurred, the larger amount of tolerance we have for things that may not be right. And if we get to a point where we don't stand for anything, we will fall for absolutely everything.
Yes.
Right.
Yes.
You see, Hosea, in the time of Hosea, this comes from chapter 4, verse 6, and I believe that this scripture is just as true today as it was back when Hosea was alive and this was occurring. It states that my people are destroyed for their lack of knowledge. Because you have rejected knowledge, I also will reject you from being my priest. Because you have forgotten the law of your God, I also will forget your children. We're destroyed for our lack of knowledge. And we're destroying ourselves for this very reason. We think we know it all. We take man's law into account far more seriously than we take God's law into account. And I've been reading lately, because I'm a little bit of a nerd that way, I read a lot. If you ask my husband, last night he looked at me and asked what I was reading, and he so eloquently just looked at me kind of quizzically and said, "I'm sorry I'm not as well-rounded as you." Bless his heart. Love that man. But I was reading, and it talks about the laws that we have. And I think sometimes we look at things like the Ten Commandments and laws in the Bible and say, oh, if I do these things, this is how I earn my grace. And don't get me wrong, there are great laws to live by. But when you have laws and rules and restrictions, that gives the human population the control, right? That's how we keep things in check. But if we're fully leaning into Christ, those checks and balances really don't need to be written in ink and paper, because you will follow the moral code of your heart. And if your heart is like Jesus,
There you go.
we have a heart condition, because we don't want to step on anybody's toes.
There you go.
So what other methods of operation does the enemy use? We already know who uses what's around us against us, but far more concerning to me is what he uses internally against us. You see, our adversary, the devil, uses thoughts to bring us into captivity and to destroy those who don't know the truth. So the ultimate battle isn't what's going on around here. It's what's going on here. Because what's here sinks into here, and what's in here comes out here. So what you meditate on, what you think about or allow to manifest in your mind will sink into your heart and will become the framework of your very belief system. If you have negative self-talk and you dwell on your inadequacies, you will lose sight of the fact that you are a son or daughter of the Most High King.
Yes.
Amen.
If you have negative internal and external dialogue about those around you, all you're going to do if you meditate on that is stew and get angry and then project that onto everyone else around you.
Amen.
Amen.
This is exactly why Scripture tells us not to be conformed to this world, but be transformed by the renewing of your mind.
Yes.
Notice God starts in the mind.
Yes.
Because when He changes your mind, that automatically takes care of that heart issue,
That's right.
which takes care of that outward display of what
Amen.
you need to do. What's right. So what's your arsenal? What are your weapons? That's right. There. In Mike's hand.
Amen. Yes.
2 Corinthians 10, 3-5 gives us specific instructions on what defense we have against our enemy. For though we walk in the flesh, we do not war in the flesh. For the weapons of our warfare are not carnal, but mighty through God to the pulling down of strongholds, casting down imaginations, every high thing that exalts itself above God, and bringing into captivity every thought to the obedience of Christ. It talks about imaginations, casting down high things that exalt itself above the knowledge of God. And it also talks about bringing into captivity your thoughts. It doesn't talk once about your heart. It talks about starting here,
Yes.
battleground mind. That is where your battle begins. So how do we defend it against the enemy? See, we can't control the battlefield in our minds on our own. As much as we would like to think that I am my own person, I am in control of my thoughts and my being, we are not in control of that battle that goes on in our mind, which is why God gave us a defense mechanism.
Yes, he did.
We have to direct our focus in the right direction to guard this,
Yes.
to guard this.
Yes.
James 1:22 says that we must be doers of the word and not hearers only, deceiving ourselves. So just because you know what that Bible might say, and some of us don't even do a good job of knowing what it says, let alone doing it, we kid ourselves, we deceive ourselves because we think we know the Bible. We're fine. No, we have to be doers of the word. You have to put into action what it tells you to. The armor of God. Those are your weapons. As children's church as that may sound. The older I get, the more I realize that sometimes the simplest of concepts are the ones we overlook the most and are the most critical
Oh, yes.
to thriving. The armor of God. Ephesians 6:13-17 says to put on the full armor of God that you may be able to withstand in the evil day. Well, I believe it is the evil day.
Yeah.
Yes.
And let me just say that there's not one piece of the armor of God that can go without the other. They're all interwoven. They all need to be present. Have you ever seen a person walk into battle without all of their armor? No. If a warrior removes a piece of his armor, you've now created a target for the enemy to penetrate that weakness. So notice within the armor of God that every inch of your being is covered. And if you have no idea what the armor of God is, I'm going to tell you. Your waist is girded or surrounded with truth. Your heart is covered with the breastplate of righteousness. Not self-righteousness, His righteousness. Our feet are covered with the gospel of peace. The message isn't one of destruction, of darkness. The message, the gospel, is of peace. Your faith serves as your shield. Your mind, that crazy little thing that we talked about, how we need to transform our mind, is protected with the helmet of salvation.
Praise the Lord.
Your very relationship with Christ is where that protection starts and comes from.
Yes.
And then your sword. Pretty important part of armor, right? Your sword. Mike, will you hold up your sword again? That's your sword.
There you go.
The sword of the Spirit. Because that, even though it may be pages and print and who knows who manufactured it, the words within that are the breathing words and life of God.
Amen. Amen.
And within them, they will protect you from what the enemy brings against you. We sang the song, the battle is not mine, it's His. He wants us to give Him that battle because He knows we cannot fight alone. God is so confident in His ability to fight your battle that He uses your enemy if you allow him to sink in, not the enemy but God. If you allow him to sink in and take control of your life, the enemy coming against you can be an indicator of areas in your life where you may need a little bit of strength. As humans, we need food every day, right? I mean, we can go a certain period of time without it, but we need bread and water. I love how He is the bread of life. His word is the bread of life. I love that description because without that, without spiritual food, we will become weak and we can't survive. I'm wrapping it up at this point, but I feel that when the enemy is coming against you, you need to remember Psalm 23:5. And if you'll start to get that video prepared, that would be great. Psalm 23:5 states that you prepare a table before me in the presence of my enemies. You anoint my head with oil, and my cup runneth over. You prepare a table for me in the presence of my enemies. And I don't want to give away this video because it's too good, but listen to the point that is being made. And think about how that might apply in your life, or how you may know that warning sign of when you need to draw closer to the Father. Because the better you know your enemy, the better prepared you are to stand against it. So as they're coming to play softly, if you could play Break Every Chain, that would be great. I challenge you today to set the table. To not be afraid of the things that come against you. That is powerful stuff to me in this video. That your enemies are going to serve you your entree. That in their presence, that's an indication that it's time to eat. It's time to feed your spiritual self. It's time to gain strength so that the Lord can carry you into the next season of your life. If you haven't set the table, I encourage you to. But sometimes I think we feel too restricted, too bound by our circumstance. That whole perspective thing. It's too hard. I'm too scared. I've had too many bad breaks in life. Well, Scripture tells me that God is love, right? We all heard that Scripture. God is love. Well, love has never known a lost cause.
That's right.
So I don't care how much you screwed up. I don't care how far you've fallen from grace, how much you struggle on a daily, hourly, minute basis to follow Him. Be courageous enough to set the table. Because with God at the head, you can focus on Him and let Him give you the strength that you need. Let Him carry you. Let Him break every chain. There is power in the Word of God, and there is power in His name, if you are so bold to use it. So I ask you today, for those of you who are struggling with loss, if you're struggling with heartache, if you're struggling with financial hard times, job issues, heart issues, economy issues, political issues, whatever you are struggling to overcome or deal with, I ask you to set the table and lay it at God's feet. I'm going to open the altars as they seat quietly. And we want to pray for you. We want to pray with you. And if you're not so bold to want to walk all the way down here, that's okay. Know that each one of you are in my prayers to overcome whatever